Distinguished colleagues, fellow librarians, and friends from around the world, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are joining from today. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the host for the kind invitation to this great event. I'm Wei Liu from the Information Institute at the Shanghai Academy of Social Sciences. Today, I'd like to share China's recent practice in building smart libraries with two keywords: AI and open platforms. The short version is this: we are not just adding chatbots on top of old systems. We are rebuilding the library's digital foundation so AI can become a reliable, everyday capability: search, cataloging, reader services, and governance, while keeping the infrastructure open, modular, and community-driven. Over the next 30 minutes, I'll use a few concrete cases, especially Shanghai Library's experience, to show what has worked, what remains hard, and why open foundation is the missing piece for scalable AI adoption in libraries. Here is the roadmap. I'll cover three parts. First, how AI is already changing library services in China, under a clear national policy framework and across 6 application domains. Second, the open technical foundation: why Shanghai Library adopted the open source Folio platform and built the Yunnan Smart Library Service platform as a shared backbone. Third, the ecosystem: the Yunnan Alliance, how adoption is spreading nationwide, and where we think the next 5 years are heading toward an agent-driven, AI-native library platform. If you remember one message, it's this: AI becomes sustainable only when it is built on an open, governable platform. We are at an inflection point. Large language models, multimodal AI, and agentic workflows are reshaping how knowledge is produced, discovered, and consumed. For libraries, that creates a double pressure. On the front end, users increasingly expect instant conversational discovery. On the back end, libraries need AI to handle growing collections, complex licenses, and new digital formats, while budgets and staffing remain constrained. In China, the library community has tried to be pragmatic, not chasing every trend, but selecting AI capabilities that measurably improve access, efficiency, and service quality. At the same time, we are asking a deeper question: what kind of infrastructure allows us to iterate quickly and safely without being locked into a single vendor or a fragile one-off integration? This tension between fast AI change and slow institutional systems is the real background of today's talk. This quote summarizes our approach. We integrate AI with an open, community-driven technology platform. Why emphasize the platform? Because AI is only as good as the data, workflows, and interoperability underneath it. So our story is about co-evolution. AI empowerment on the surface and open infrastructure underneath. When the two advance together, you get a virtuous cycle. Better services generate better data and feedback. Better data and clearer workflows improve models and retrieval, and that in turn improves services again. In other words, smartness is not a feature, it is a system property. Let me start with part 1, AI empowerment. As I go, please listen for 2 themes. First, how AI improves reader experience, and second, how AI changes internal workflows and professional roles. Those themes will naturally lead us to part 2, the platform foundation that makes these services scalable and governable. China has elevated smart library construction to a national strategic priority. During the 14th five-year plan period, the Ministry of Culture and Tourism launched the National Smart Library System Construction Project, and smart library goals appear in multiple top-level policy documents. A landmark moment came in June 2023 when the ministry, Peking University, and ByteDance signed a framework agreement to co-build the National Smart Library System using the digitization of ancient texts as an entry point. In practice, This created a strong push for digitization pipelines, metadata modernization, and AI-assisted processing. That means AI and platform modernization are no longer only IT projects. They are part of governance, performance assessment, and public cultural service delivery. One subtle but important point: national strategy also encourages standardization. Without shared standards, metadata, APIs, security controls, AI services remain isolated. So policy creates the conditions for interoperability, not just funding for pilots. Under this policy umbrella, AI deployment clusters into 6 major domains. Some are user-facing: search and discovery, recommendation, and virtual reference. Others transform the back office, automated cataloging, and operational workflows. And some create new knowledge infrastructure, knowledge graphs, semantic linking, and LLM-enhanced curation. What's notable is the shift from isolated demos to scaled services with usage metrics and service-level expectations. Libraries are learning to treat AI like a public service. You need reliability, safety, and continuous improvement, not just a clever prototype. Also, these domains reinforce each other. Better cataloging improves discovery. Better discovery provides interaction data for recommendation. Knowledge graphs improve both discovery and Q&A, and assistants can guide users through complex services that used to require staff mediation. Now, let me walk through representative examples for each domain. First, intelligent search and discovery. Libraries are combining unified search across print, digital, and special collections with semantic search and, increasingly, LLM-powered retrieval. The goal is one stop. Readers should not need to know which system holds which resource. At Shanghai Library, the unified discovery service is built on ViewFind and serves as a single entry point across collections. With millions of queries per month, readers can search across catalogs, databases, and digital collections, and AI-assisted ranking helps surface the most relevant items. What we learned is that the hardest part is not the interface. It's integrating metadata, access rights, and heterogeneous resources so that results are accurate and actionable. LLMs help interpret intent and summarize, but the platform must enforce rules, licensing, privacy, and what is allowed to be shown or recommended. A practical design pattern is retrieval first, generation second. The system retrieves controlled, citable sources and then uses the model to synthesize an answer. That reduces hallucination and keeps the library's promise of trust. In live services, we also pay attention to what I call the last mile of discovery. Once a user finds something, can they access it smoothly? AI can suggest next steps, requesting, reserving, logging in, or finding alternative resources, but only if the platform exposes the right capabilities. So discovery is not only ranking, it's end-to-end task completion. Second, automated cataloging. Guangdong Zhongshan Library developed cataloging Turing, widely cited as the first fully intelligent cataloging system for libraries. It combines IoT sensors, AI algorithms, and robotics to automate multiple stages of the cataloging workflow. Why does this matter? Cataloging is expensive, labor-intensive, and sensitive to inconsistency. Automation improves throughput and standardization, and it frees professional librarians to focus on quality control, authority work, and higher-level knowledge organization. More broadly, cataloging automation is a test case for AI in the back office. It shows that AI is not only about user-facing chatbots. It can modernize core professional workflows, provided you have clear standards, good training data, and strong exception handling where humans step in when confidence is low. In many libraries, a hybrid model works best. Machines handle routine patterns at scale, and professionals handle edge cases, complex materials, and governance. This hybrid approach preserves professional value while improving system productivity. Third, personalized recommendation. Some university libraries have built AI assistants that recommend books and articles based on borrowing histories and interest profiles, supported by large-scale literature resources. The interaction is increasingly conversational. I'm writing about X. What should I read first? Or, I have 30 minutes. Give me the best starting point. A practical twist is combining recommendation with physical space intelligence. Computer vision helps locate items on shelves, and the system can propose an efficient route for retrieval. In pilots, libraries report better inventory efficiency and higher reader satisfaction. From a governance perspective, recommendation also raises important questions. Transparency. Why was this recommended? Diversity. Are we over-personalizing? And privacy. How do we protect reader data? Fourth, virtual reference and intelligent assistants. More than a dozen major Chinese libraries have deployed AI chatbots for reference, reader guidance, and operational support. Some integrate multiple models so they can balance cost, latency, and domain performance, and switch models depending on task type. Shanghai Library started early, launching an intelligent consultation robot in 2018 and has expanded it into a service system that supports Q&A, navigation, and routine inquiries. Hunan Library's assistant is another interesting case because it integrates library service with broader civic information, so users can access government services plus library in one conversational interface. In our experience, the key is not just a chat interface. It's connecting the assistant to curated knowledge bases, service rules, and human escalation pathways, so answers are accurate, accountable, and helpful when the question is complex or sensitive. Technically, libraries also benefit from knowledge base plus tool use. The assistant can search catalogs, check opening hours, book a seat, or guide a user through access steps, turning conversation into real service delivery. Operationally, we design for trust. We keep clear boundaries, what the assistant can answer directly, what requires citation, and what must be routed to a librarian. We also monitor failure modes, outdated policies, ambiguous questions, and sensitive topics, so the service improves over time. This is where libraries can set a high bar compared with general-purpose AI tools. Fifth, knowledge graphs and LLM-enhanced curation. Libraries are building entity graphs for people, places, events, and works, especially for local cultural heritage. This supports richer discovery, not only find a book, but explore a network and understand context across time and space. In academic contexts, knowledge graphs can link Chinese resources to international authority files like VAF, enabling cross-lingual research and better interoperability. Knowledge graphs are also a bridge between traditional cataloging and AI. They make structure explicit. LLMs can help generate candidate entities and relations, but librarians still provide governance, validation, provenance, and ethical boundaries, so the graph remains trustworthy. In other words, AI accelerates, but librarians curate and certify. If we zoom out globally, AI adoption in libraries is expanding, but it is uneven. Some institutions emphasize innovation labs and experimentation. Others are constrained by budgets, policy uncertainty, copyright concerns, or legacy systems. Many are still figuring out how to evaluate AI objectively and how to govern it responsibly. This is why China's approach is interesting. National policy creates momentum, but local libraries still need a workable technical and organizational model. Without that model, adoption becomes fragmented, each library building its own stack, repeating mistakes, and struggling with maintenance. So the next slide summarizes key challenges and a simple framework for thinking about them. I will keep it practical. What to check before you scale. AI brings real challenges. First, governance. Data privacy, bias, transparency, and intellectual property constraints. Second, capability. Librarians need new skills to design prompts, supervise models, curate knowledge bases, and evaluate outputs. Third, systems. Fragmented platforms make integration costly, and legacy data quality limits AI performance. Fourth, evaluation. We need metrics beyond "it looks impressive." One useful way to structure decisions is an SE-style checklist. AI services should be effective for users, secure and compliant, sustainable, financially and operationally, and equitable, serving diverse communities fairly. In practice, this framework pushes libraries to treat AI as infrastructure and public service, not just a feature. It also reminds us that the best AI solution is sometimes less AI, better data, and workflow. And that is why Part 2 matters. If the foundation is weak, ESSE goals are nearly impossible to meet at scale. Now let's move to Part 2, the open foundation. Everything we discussed, search, cataloging automation, assistance, knowledge graphs, depends on clean interfaces, consistent workflows, and reliable data governance. That is why Shanghai Library invested in a modern open platform. I'll introduce Folio and then explain how Yunhan was built and localized for China while remaining aligned with the global open source community. Folio stands for "The Future of Libraries is Open." It is an open-source modular library services platform designed for flexibility and community development. Instead of one monolithic system, it provides a set of interoperable modules: circulation, acquisitions, cataloging, analytics, connected through APIs. For Shanghai Library, the motivation was straightforward. We needed a platform that could evolve with new services, integrate with external systems, and support a broad alliance of libraries, not a closed solution tied to one vendor's roadmap. We also needed a community model because no single library can develop everything alone. An open platform changes the economics of innovation. Libraries can co-develop modules, share costs, adopt improvements quickly, and contribute back, so progress compounds over time. This becomes even more important when AI capabilities evolve every few months. Another point: openness improves auditability. When AI touches sensitive workflows like reader data or acquisitions decisions, being able to inspect, log, and govern the underlying system is not a luxury, it is a necessity. In addition, open platforms make procurement more flexible. Libraries can source implementation from different partners, compare costs transparently, and avoid being forced into a single upgrade path. That flexibility matters when budgets fluctuate and when new AI capabilities appear faster than traditional procurement cycles. Shanghai Library pioneered the adoption of Folio in China and treated it as a modernization program, not only an IT migration. The goal was to create a common digital foundation that can serve different types of libraries, public, academic, and specialized, with localization for Chinese workflows, standards, and services. This required careful change management, mapping legacy processes, training staff, and redesigning workflows where necessary. It also required governance, deciding which requirements should be local configuration, which should become new modules, and which should be contributed upstream. The pioneering journey is therefore both technical and institutional. It is about building a shared platform while preserving service continuity and improving quality. If you have ever migrated a library system, you know the hidden work: data cleanup, authority alignment, and staff retraining. We treated that work as an investment because clean data and standardized workflows are also what makes AI practical later. Technically, the Yunhan platform is built as a modern service platform: modular components, microservices, and API-first integration. This matters because AI services need clean interfaces to access metadata, circulation rules, digital rights, user profiles, and analytics without fragile one-off integrations. If every AI application needs custom scraping or manual exports, it will never scale. Think of Yunhan as an AI-ready operating system for library services. On top of that foundation, libraries can plug in discovery, knowledge graphs, recommendation engines, and conversational agents, while maintaining consistent governance, logging, and security controls. Another practical benefit is resilience. Modular architecture makes upgrades and replacements easier. If one component evolves, you don't have to rewrite the entire system. And finally, APIs enable ecosystem innovation. When external developers can build against stable interfaces, you get more experimentation without breaking the core system. Localization is not only translating labels, it includes adapting workflows, metadata standards, authority control practices, and integration with domestic systems, identity, payments, procurement, and local digital resource platforms. It also includes supporting Chinese language search quality, name disambiguation, and culturally specific entities. A key principle is localize and contribute. Where possible, improvements are generalized and contributed back to the Folio community, so the global platform benefits and China stays aligned with upstream evolution. This reduces long-term maintenance costs and prevents divergence. In short, localization makes the platform usable and effective in China, while contribution makes it sustainable and turns China from a consumer into a co-builder of global library infrastructure. This also creates a healthy feedback loop. Local requirements strengthen the global platform. A stronger global platform reduces local development burden. With the platform in place, the next question is scale. How do we move from one pioneering library to a sustainable nationwide ecosystem? How do we help libraries with fewer technical resources adopt the platform and still innovate? That's part 3. The Yunhan Alliance, the partnership ecosystem, and the diffusion model that turns a platform into a national capability. The Yunhan Alliance, often referred to as KLSP, functions as a collaborative network. Its mission is to promote a shared smart library service platform, coordinate requirements and standards, and organize joint development and training. In practical terms, it creates a commons, shared modules, shared documentation, shared implementation patterns, and shared evaluation approaches. This matters because many libraries face the same constraints: limited technical staff, procurement complexity, and uncertainty about AI. By pooling resources, the Alliance lowers the barrier to entry, reduces duplication, and speeds up diffusion of proven solutions. Equally important, the Alliance provides governance mechanisms, so libraries can make collective decisions about roadmap priorities, compatibility, and quality assurance, instead of drifting into fragmented, incompatible implementations. From an AI perspective, a shared platform also enables shared datasets and shared evaluation benchmarks, while still respecting privacy and local policy. That makes AI improvement more systematic. We also found that community is a learning system. When one library solves a problem, say a Chinese authority workflow, a new connector, or an evaluation rubric, it can be documented and reused by others. Over time, this shared learning reduces risk and speeds up implementation. It's a very different model from isolated vendor-led deployments. A platform ecosystem needs more than code. It needs implementation partners, solution providers, universities, and research institutes to supply innovation and talent. In practice, we see a dual ecosystem. Commercial partners deliver deployment, operations, and support. Academic partners contribute research, evaluation methods, and specialized modules, such as digital humanities tools, knowledge graph pipelines, and AI literacy programs for librarians. This combination is powerful. Commercial partners make adoption feasible at scale. Academic partners keep the ecosystem intellectually vibrant and methodologically rigorous. Together, they help libraries move beyond buying software to building sustainable capacity. One more point. Ecosystems create career pathways. When librarians can learn platform skills and AI governance skills that are portable across institutions, talent development accelerates, and that is essential for long-term transformation. Adoption is spreading beyond Shanghai. Libraries in different regions can reuse a common technical core while configuring local policies and service packages. This replicate and localize model is crucial. It turns smart library construction from bespoke projects into a repeatable pattern. Over time, what used to be innovative pilots becomes the new operational norm. Unified discovery, integrated workflows, and AI services that are governed, monitored, and continuously improved. One lesson is that diffusion is not only technical, it depends on documentation, training, procurement models, and peer learning. Alliances provide that social infrastructure. And once a critical mass forms, innovation accelerates because libraries can build on each other's work instead of starting from zero. That is how a platform becomes national infrastructure. Finally, part 4. Where do we go next? We believe the next stage is not simply more AI features, but an AI native platform, an agent-driven library service platform, or ALSP. This is our attempt to answer a simple question. If AI agents are becoming the new interface to knowledge work, what should a library platform look like in that world? The ALSP vision treats AI agents as first-class components of the platform. Instead of one general chatbot, we have specialized agents for specific tasks: reference, cataloging assistance, metadata enrichment, acquisitions analytics, reader engagement, and even policy compliance checks. Each agent has a defined role, access scope, and evaluation metrics. Agents can orchestrate workflows across modules through APIs. For example, a reference agent can retrieve resources, draft a response with citations, and then hand off to a librarian for final approval. A metadata agent can propose subject headings or entity links, while a librarian validates or edits. This architecture makes AI more controllable and accountable. You can manage permissions, logging, and auditing, just like you do with human staff and software services. Another advantage is composability. Agents can call tools, query knowledge graphs, trigger workflows, and collaborate with each other. That turns AI from a single assistant into a coordinated workforce, while keeping humans in charge of policy and quality. From a user perspective, this can feel surprisingly natural. A student might ask, "Help me build a reading list," and behind the scenes, multiple agents collaborate. One searches and filters sources, another summarizes key themes, and a third formats citations, while the librarian supervises the final output. The user experiences one conversation, but the platform provides many coordinated capabilities. Looking ahead to the 15th five-year period, our roadmap has 3 priorities. First, strengthen data governance, metadata quality, provenance, privacy, and secure interoperability. Without this, AI will amplify errors and inconsistencies. Second, build AI literacy and professional capacity, so librarians can design, supervise, and evaluate AI services rather than simply use tools. This includes training in prompt engineering, dataset curation, evaluation methods, and ethical decision-making. Third, expand interoperability and public value, connecting libraries with education, museums, archives, and civic services, and ensuring that AI improves access for all communities, not only for digitally privileged users. We also expect more emphasis on measurable outcomes, reduced service wait times, higher discovery success rates, better accessibility for people with disabilities, and more inclusive cultural participation. Ultimately, SMART must be evaluated in public value terms, not only technical novelty. Finally, we anticipate tighter integration with research workflows, supporting reproducible literature reviews, data citation, and tool-assisted analysis for digital humanities and social science. Libraries can become not only access providers, but also trusted research partners, offering AI services that are transparent, citable, and aligned with academic norms. Let me conclude with three convictions. 1. AI will become a basic capability of libraries, but only if we treat it as infrastructure, with governance, evaluation, and accountability. Otherwise, we get impressive demos and fragile reality. 2. The future platform must be open and modular. Openness is not only ideology, it is a practical strategy for speed, sustainability, and risk management. Modularity lets us adopt new AI components without rebuilding everything. 3. Smart libraries are ultimately about people, readers, communities, and cultural memory. Technology should widen access, strengthen trust, and support learning and creativity. If AI makes libraries more inclusive and more reliable, then we are moving in the right direction. I hope China's experience, combining AI with an open platform and a collaborative alliance, offers useful ideas for your own context. And I'm also eager to learn from your experiences because global exchange is how libraries stay resilient. Thank you for listening.